What up, this is Rama Screen covering movies, TV, and entertainment, and here's my review of Netflix's new anthology series, Social Distance. Hey, before you watch my review, please subscribe to my channel, press that like button, and ring that bell so you can get notified whenever I post new videos. And if you would like to help support this channel, please do so at patreon.com/ramascreen. That's patreon.com/ramascreen. Let's rock this. First up, I would like to say thank you to Netflix for granting me the screener to this new show. They've asked me to not spill spoilers, therefore this video review is spoiler free. I repeat, there are no spoilers in this video review. Not too long ago, I gave you my thoughts on Freeform's limited series Love in the Time of Corona, which was this rom-com that was shot during the early days of quarantine with very limited crew, and the actors sometimes had to use their own equipment, and it helped the filming logistics of it, the fact that most of them are real-life couples. And now comes Social Distance, another scripted show set during this pandemic. The minute I heard that Genji Cohen was associated with this project, I was immediately sold because I'm a big fan of all the shows that Genji had produced for us over the years. Social Distance is done entirely through FaceTime, Skype, and Zoom, what have you, or at least it's made to look that way. Of course, none of the actors play themselves, so the names at the bottom of their screens would be their characters instead. So clearly there is a pretty solid post-production team that cleverly worked on all that finishing touch. Social Distance is a timely, sensitive, and therapeutic show that taps into our fears of loneliness, our sense of missing loved ones, and it redefines what it means to be there for somebody. Created and executive produced by showrunner Hilary Weissman Graham and executive produced by Genji Cohen, Social Distance is set in the initial months of the COVID-19 pandemic. It's an 8-part anthology series that showcases the power of the human spirit in the face of uncertainty and isolation. Each standalone episode is told through a virtual lens and captures the unique emotional experience of being forced apart by circumstance and having no choice but to communicate remotely and rely on technology to maintain any sense of connection. Through these varied and deeply human stories, Social Distance aims to provide some much-needed catharsis during a tumultuous time while also capturing a snapshot of this singular moment in history. What's interesting is that each episode begins by telling you that the timestamp is around April 2020. Several of the characters would say, "Oh, this whole lockdown would be done in a few weeks. The governor said so." Boy, I would love to see the look on their faces watching these episodes now, 6 months after. But hey, you can't blame them. We all thought that it was gonna be over soon. Turns out, soon was a wishful thinking. I was pleasantly surprised to find some notable familiar faces involved with this series, including Mike Colter, who opens the first episode by playing a man who had just experienced breakup. Now, I'm not gonna tell you the conclusion of that story, but Mike does a superb job of conveying his character's heartache. And in a lot of ways, we are all kind of like him in that we try to put a positive spin on the situation, but sometimes our sadness is not something that we can just easily avoid. The second episode is actually my favorite one of them all. Oscar Nunez from The Office plays this man who tries to gather his family together for their patriarch's live stream funeral. This episode will crack you up, and Oscar's comedic timing is fantastic. But it's also one of those short family dramedies that make you think. The rest of the subsequent episodes also have their own shenanigans, if you will. There's the gay couple trying to spice things up. There's the nurse trying to get the super busy client to spare time a little more. And then there's also the rather emotionally devastating episode. All of these episodes don't hide behind the bushes when it comes to dealing with how gloomy this pandemic has been and how crappy separations are. If anything, what this show does is make us feel grateful for the people that we do have in our lives, because we often take them for granted until we are told that we cannot hang out with them anymore except through a laptop monitor, which of course, thank God for technology, right? But nothing, I mean nothing, beats direct human contact.